Guys, how are we? So today is the first segment of a series of incremental steps that you guys can look forward to, which is going to have a bank of key assets and tools that will alone have the potential to unlock your greatest impact imaginable yet. That being culture commandments is where we kick off from today. A little bit about the training. So this was created to strengthen the results of all of our 7 core pillars so they move forward together. But without one, the other one can't be strengthened. How that's going to break down from in power right through to delivering with resilience across your nutrition, your training, making stronger choices towards your ultimate lifestyle too. Establishing the ultimate end results, which is greater, in my opinion, than all of the above, to keep that free flow going and to help you live your best life, being fulfillment. Now that also needs to be backed up with an engine, backed up with a powerhouse of an engine, being sharp minds. So that's pretty much shaped today's epic training, and I'm really looking forward to delivering it to you. What you can expect is you will gain laser focus and canvassing your greatest vision yet while working on yourself and your identity. That first step starts today, guys. These might be your first tangible introduction to relatable mantras today, being that very first step. And again, being incremental, we've got to take that first step before moving on to the next stuff, the heavier stuff, the bigger fish in the pond. So if you haven't already, soon you can get on board with these. And if you have, we're going to expand on this so you can already move on from where you're already at and really dominate that next fulfillment stage going forward. For me, they've been massive and have had a renowned impact on my life and how I actually turn up and implement on a day-to-day basis for the things that I want to actually do, or sometimes against the things I don't want to do, and then help shape them to become more of a priority. They've also been used by my circle of influence. My growth coaches use them, people I trust use them, and my mindset coach, Kylie, also uses them. So mission mastery stages. We have 4 sections, and this is the overall section. Not quite today. I want to give you a bit of a foresight of what's actually coming up, so you can really get excited about it and realize that, you know what, this is only a tiny little section, and I know you're going to get so much out of this, but you have these steps to move forward, and it really just shows you what you might have been missing all of this time in your journey going forward. So I put a lot of thought into this. I put a lot of time into this. I put a lot of finance into this, even from my own coaching and just getting everything into play. And I know this is going to serve you so good. The first one, being guidelines and commandments, guys. A ready to use list of processes and baselines to raise your daily standards. One of those sections will be covered today, and we'll have some more follow on from that. Then we're going to look forward to your personal expression. And this is about your identity. This is about sealing something new, something special, something intrinsic. And affirmations are going to be a very strong part of that. I'm going to show you how to form your own. Third one, being a mission statement. It sounds like a big statement in itself, but let's think about it. If your team, if your family, if the people around you, the people you love don't understand your mission, how are you going to continue and fulfill it? Fourth, being communication, and this is basically beyond, and it's about expression and support from your mission outwards. So something a little bit even beyond yourself. All right, you decide. The power of language shapes our thoughts, right? And our thoughts shape our character. And guys, just before I kick on, I definitely do advise you to grab a pen and paper at this point for 2 reasons. I want you to grab a pen and paper for things that jump out. Pop it down, keep it, store it, and I'll have a couple of questions as we kind of go along the way. So if something is more relevant to you, pop that down. And when those questions are kind of fired, give yourself that reflection period to stop this video, pop it down, and then play it again when you're ready to rock. It will make a massive difference. And it is our first step to implementation, not listening, not turning up, but actually moving forward and putting action into it. Also, this is going to be a collection of a starter goal for you guys. It's going to be a collection of beliefs, values. You know that everyone that has came in here has went through a very careful selection process, right? And when you guys come in, we all share them similar values. We all share them similar goals, aspirations, dreams, and our mission can change from place to place, and according to our histories and the future that we have, aspirations going forward, and backed up by our values and goals, but a lot of them will cross over and be somewhat similar. So this is going to give you a strong feel as to what might be most important. I want you to pick those points, all right, and really make those meaningful to you. So like any meaningful change, it's manifested from our subconscious, allowing us to infuse our identity from within to create a robust, high-performing body outwards. It's got to start from within. Therefore, by using words as another tool to shape our actions, it's become an absolute game changer. Rather than just expecting those actions and do I have motivation, don't I have motivation, use words, use everything we have in our toolbox to absolutely drive forward. It's going to be a game changer, guys. So how do you find your mantra at this point? All right. So typically the best way to find your mantra is to ask yourself this right now. What do I need most right now? Whatever that answer might be, that's going to be your answer. The answer is going to be between that and the deficit to exactly where that might be. Does that make sense? All right. So this is the first thing we have as a culture. Our commandments is 7 things we will not fucking do. All right. 1 is let time become an excuse. And always say this, thou shalt never let time become an excuse. And also related to that, if it's important to me, I will find a way. You decide what end of that you want to work with. Second one, I love this. It's thou shalt never negotiate with thou self. I use this all of the time, and it has been a game changer for me. For someone I've trained alongside for a long time, most positive person in the world in terms of giving other people advice, family, friends, colleagues. But when it comes to themselves, they seem to beat themselves up. They seem to build every sort of scenario to get themselves out of it. And when we got speaking more about nutrition, about training, days we turn up, days they don't turn up, there was a common problem there. And it was too many conversations going on within our own head. And that's the first place this starts. So if you are sitting on a couch and you're going, will I go to the gym? Won't I? Well, you know what? Tomorrow's another day and it's a bit late now and I should probably prioritize my sleep and I kind of have to do meal prep because I want that nutrition on point. When you start to hear these thoughts coming in, that's the first place you need to knock it on the head and have an awareness like this with something very fucking simple like a commandment. So 7 sins. Taking something simple from this, thou shalt never negotiate with yourself. When you feel that process kicking off in your head, pull it out, and then it's very simple. Without the conversation going on, you decide. You know what? I'm completely burnt out, banjoed. I am not going to train today, but I'm going to turn up tomorrow with fucking heat. All right. That's one way of not negotiating and deciding. It might not have been the best case scenario initially in your mind, but it would probably be the long-term best case scenario. The second one would be, fuck it, you know what? I'm making excuses. I hear this shit going on again. This is a cycle that I've constantly been in the past. This is not where I want to be. And I know I am here because of that. Straight away, you go, you know what? I'm hearing those voices again. I'm going to fucking train. And I know for a fact, I'm not going to regret it. Think about where that might be for you. Where are you negotiating with yourself? Where do you feel that little Homer devil and angel popping up side by side, having fist fights before you actually decide which one you're going to do? Have a think about it, guys. Third one is Have 2 bad meals. I love this one. Very simple. So I can get away with 1, but never 2. This is an important one. So if you are unprepped, grand, fucking have whatever is going to be the next best option. Sure. But don't get into that cycle and kick into the next day or the Monday. How many times have you done that in the past? And how well has that served you? That is not something that is going to help you turn up at an absolute new operator. And that's going to tie in with another one of our commandments soon. Also, one would generally, one is grand. And once we go into a second one, it's when that perfectionist will kick in, or it's an all or nothing scenario. And most of us in here are someone that has fought with that all or nothing mindset, or has been a perfectionist, which is the worst thing in the world, guys. The absolute worst thing we're trying to move away from. And this is why these help us and serve us and help us shape those actions moving forward. Fourth is compare myself to others. Instead, take inspiration and compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. 5, get attached nor rely on other people for my happiness. We are the creators of our own happiness. If we live in the past, it will kill us. If we attach onto somebody else and something happens along the line, that gap is out, that connection is also closed, and we are left somewhat swarming around trying to close the gaps and get back on track. So we are the creators of our own happiness. Take ownership and move forward. Do not play that victim, right? 6, allow setbacks get to my heart, nor success get to my head. Failure is necessary feedback and vital for our success. This is why an important aspect of what I ask you guys to do on a daily, weekly basis, should I say, is within our accountability and lifestyle tracker, we have that section and that opportunity to look at our week prospectively within 30 seconds and blast it out of those 3 big wins and those. And still, no matter how good your fucking week was, we still want to look at where can we ramp this up. And we look at that -1 on the bottom and we go, okay, I had a really good fucking week, but you know what? I'm not going to get blown away with this. I'm going to keep steady with emotional intelligence, and I'm going to maybe see how I can improve, because I know if I have these solid weeks and I get too comfortable with that, I get complacent. If I get complacent, what happens then is I'll probably regress. So open that vision. And on really bad times, also be able to flip it over, because we are well aware, no matter how bad a day can get, someone next door is probably having 10 times worse of a day, and it leaves you very appreciative of everywhere you're at. So never forget how far you have came. Last one here is make flaky goals. Again, you have an opportunity to work on these every single fucking week. Every time you turn up on Monday to drop in your action steps, it is an opportunity to shape and sharpen your tools. They must always be sharp and meaningful to me. And I always help you guys ramp them up. And I hope that every week you come in, that it moves from at the start, help restructure my routine. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and moving towards the next maybe 2-3 weeks. Your first 3 weeks in, and then all of a sudden we want to see some changes, like heading more towards actual outcomes. If it is weight loss, how much, by when, and then the process you want to do that. As that increases, as you go into month 6, month 7, it's probably not about weight loss anymore. And at that point, we're after leveling our game up big time. You're probably into some serious performance that is keeping you excited, fired up, energized into work, and leaving you coming home fucking driven for those things that you felt a challenge at the start, because this is now your escape. This is the time that you have given yourself the opportunity to take. And then beyond that, we want to see it radiating outwards into the results of our mission we are going to put forward over these next few weeks and months. Our 10 commandments. So we've looked at what we won't do. These are the things we will do with passion. take what is going to be most applicable or use my 10 commandments, our 10 commandments in here as a culture, as a tribe. All right, the first one, we live by. We actively seek meaningful change while gaining safety in growth. All right, think about that again. So growth is preserving our health and the freedom of choice that comes with that, never fearing discomfort. All right, so that freedom being the freedom of choice. Imagine we got to a point in which we didn't have the choice to train anymore because of a nasty injury, because of inaction, bad movements, being overweight. Or imagine we were overweight and it was at a point where it gave us so many triggers within a day, so many things to be feeling shit about, that it has came to a point where we've almost normalized it, normalize those visits to the hospital, and all of a sudden you don't have any time left in your fucking day because they're taken up by going to the doctor, you're taken up by consuming another pill. So you don't have that energy, you don't have that freedom, you don't have those aspects to go, you know what, this is where I'm going to go, this is what I'm going to do, this is the level I'm going to operate at. So right now you have every opportunity, and basically whatever choice you make in the direction of discomfort is going to give you that freedom and comfort in the future. We always work on ourselves first. This can be tough for a lot of people, I'm well aware. Protecting our imperishable armor. So look at that, look at your inputs as everything that comes into those inputs as armor, right? So we're going to protect our armor first before we are triggered and we can't help anybody else around us. All right. So if you struggle with putting yourself first, this is a really, really good place to start. And it comes from a place of love. So we can turn up at our best. We never go alone, reaching out for help or asking for it if struggling. An important aspect here is you guys are all ambitious people, right? You are absolute operators. May have been in the past, may have been right now, whatever it is. Removing ego and valuing your strengths in vulnerability will probably be your strongest asset going forward. So have a think about that again. Have a think about where maybe you are placing that ego in front and not asking for help, not being vulnerable. The day you guys raised that hand and had asked for help, how long did it take you before that? How many bad decisions have you made? I don't want you to do that again. So I want you to literally be quick to raise that hand. And more importantly, when you get to a point in which you are moving to that next level, and you have those systems in place, reach down and help others. And that's going to be the strongest thing that is going to help you grow. If you see someone in a group asking a question, jump into them, try to give them your opinion on it. Maybe let them know where you were stuck or are stuck, and have that relatable aspect. And that's really going to help everybody move forward as a team then together. How we do anything is how we do everything. I mentioned in the last slide, the first actually was in the sins. That's there's a crossover, and I mentioned that we'll bring this up again. This is what that was attached to. So how we do anything is how we do everything. If we go, fuck it, I'll do that meal prep tomorrow, or fuck it, you know what, I'm not going to push hard in my gym today, it's just not important to me. It's going to cross over. It's going to cross over not only into our 7 core pillars, but also into life. And that's what we're here for. We're not here for just those 7 pillars. They're the ingredients. That's what you guys get. But what you then give on the far end of that is a whole lot greater. So what you want to realize is my exceptional personal standards are going to be affected here, or they are going to be wrapped. Okay. 5, we achieve physical and psychological mastery through the vehicle of our physical battlegrounds. May it be the gym, the field, the track, or events. All right. We operate with perseverance. Get really good at saying, just fucking do it. So if nothing else, remember those 3 words at the end of it. Just fucking do it, man. All right. 7, we live by the 80-20 rule, leading with experiences over perfection. Search in the hub and you will see a video within this on the 80-20 rule. But this comes from 2 aspects, guys, and this is a really, really big one. So maybe I want to spend a few minutes on this one. From 2 aspects. The first one is that we're moving away from that all or nothing perfectionism. All right. So if you had to get your nutrition, fucking nailed it. Eating out lunchbox all day long, every day. Like me, one day I was at a wedding and I was just pretty much shy of it. Craziness, absolute craziness, instead of actually out there enjoying it, but also leading towards my values, my goals, and everything that is important to me, even long term. What helped me more than anything is moving into 80% is good enough, and have that 20% room. Allow yourself that 20% room. So additionally, on top of that, guys, there's a thing called the parental principle. Google it, check it out, have a look into it. I'm not going to spend too much time on it here now, but it's extremely useful for determining which areas of focus your efforts are going to be best focused on next in order to achieve maximum efficiency. So how that breaks down is by utilizing the 80-20 rule here. In this case, selectees and veterans can prioritize relevant action steps to focus on the crucial 20% that is most applicable to that point. Now, which will produce 80% of the results across the board. So let me explain that to you. We have our 7 core pillars. Let's say one of those elements is shit. And we look at 20%. That 20%, that is bad. That 20%, just that fraction, but it is the most important fraction. It's the missing link. So a chain is only strong as its strongest link, or its weakest link, should I say. So we get that weakest link and we strengthen and we put 80% of our efforts onto that for that period. Or sorry, 20% of our efforts onto that for that period. It will produce 80% of the results. So 2 ways to look at that, guys. 8, we will do less of the stuff we hate and actively seek more of the stuff we love. So that single page changed my life. I shit you not. Bold statements. I came back from a Jesus. It was an event it was a growth event in Birmingham, I think it was. Brighton. It was in Brighton. By a guy called Dan Meredith. You might know him, you might not, but amazing events. And biggest thing I gained from it is I sat in and out in the same day. It was a pretty heavy day, but I remember sitting on a long train on the way back to wherever the airport was, and I got a page and I split it down the middle, and at the top I wrote the things I do, and at the top of the right I said the things that I want to do, and I started listing them out. And from that day I realized that the things I want to do, the list just did not correlate with the things I do. So I decided from that day going forward that I would change that, and I did. I actively went after it for the next few years, and that's probably been the biggest game changer in my life. And that's why I use this principle here, guys. 9, our true success lies in the sum of all small efforts done consistently over time, true to our values, the 1%. Last one, we choose to give people in our lives the best version of us because we can, and hey, frankly, that's what they deserve. Enough said. So how do we bring this to life? How do we bring all of this together? And this is a good opportunity to grab your pen and let's get to it. First one being inspiration. All right. So Don't be afraid to take inspiration from someone that's been there. Don't be afraid to, you're in here, you're getting inspiration from you're getting inspiration from a system that is built for you, a system that's going to be foolproof. Once you implement it and put it together and put these plans in place. So take inspiration, guys, at every opportunity, and never see it as something that is somewhat against you. And even if you see a big win, take a drive from it. Never let it set you back. 2, commitments. So even if it's not, even if it's not perfect, it will begin to serve you. Just get it done. Get something in there right now, and it will begin to serve you. And it will shape, it will change. Words will change, actions will change, goals will change as you go along, and these will have to change through. We start with mantras, and we soon move on to affirmations, and that's going to create what you need, the bones to create your mission, and understand a little bit more as exactly how you do that pretty soon. 3rd one is repetition. One of the best mentors I've ever had insisted to repeat our mantras 5 times to ourselves at the start of each day. And they used to do it, I don't know, 20 times or something crazy like that. So if the mind wanders during that time, simply pull it back to your commandments, guys. Or if your mind wanders at any time within a day, just come back here again, revisit it, blast it out back down, and it will put you back into a nice flow states where you can actually create those actions. And that's where we get our ultimate flow from. 4, become. You and your mission are one. They will become one. In the moments that you feel overwhelmed, in the moments that you feel overwhelmed, just realize that what you are preaching, what you have been practicing, is within you, and let it become one. So live these, and they will come alive. So guys, I hope that was helpful. That is our 7 deadly sins and our 10 commandments. The next training is going to be absolute gold also, and it's going to be the next step up from this. So definitely get these, use them, go back, screenshot those sections if you want, or go back into the group. They're actually in there. You can download them from the group, put them into the front of your phone, whatever is going to be best for you right now. Put them into your Trello board. Take out the best ones that are most strongest to you right now. I can guarantee you will keep revisiting these years on. I've been shaping these for years myself. So guys, for the next training, we shall chat to you then.